I'm not sure how you found yourself here. Maybe a link I posted, maybe browsing, or in relation to the algorithm. It doesn't matter. If you did, you more than likely have a high aversion to conventional socialization, or are even a schizoid or avoidant, or suspect yourself to be. Before you lose interest, or roll your eyes at the idea of a 35-year-old schizoid loser trying to get through to you with some pathos rhetoric, hear me out. I theorize that the socially averted are not in fact afraid, frustrated, or indifferent to socializing as a whole, but socializing in any traditional manner. The motivators, the interests, the insecurities, or general drives for socializing make little sense to many of us. But what if we merely exist within a set and scale of needs that do not apply to the neurotypical social paradigm? What if we dance by a different tune? What if the melody that guides us is highly experimental and oftentimes incoherent to the average listener? I believe that this is the case. I also believe that if we make the counterintuitive decision to create an orchestra of sorts, we can create a composition that ranges from the uncanny and disturbing to the tranquil and alluring. Let the socially averted band together and make something new, something strange but beautiful. Moving past the sentimentality, I think we can find a way for socialization to occur on our own terms, by maintaining our own sense of community that can exist far outside the reach of common forms of communication. That said, my videos are here for the socially averted to possibly relate to, the stream so they can on the spot bounce whatever ideas they wish to bounce off me, and lastly the Discord server so that we may gather in the darkness, away from prying eyes and boring prescriptive behavioral norms. In the end, what else can we do aside from finding our way past the blinding light of daily existential drudgery? Thanks for listening, and if you want to know more, watch the rambles on this channel, watch the streams if you're bored and want to get cozy, and join the Discord on the About Me section to speak with more of your kind. If you end up enjoying anything that I provide, please think of contributing to my Patreon in order to help this odd and seemingly impossible cause. If you think this idea is stupid, fine by me. We will be here if you ever change your mind. Okay. So, off the script, just want to talk a little bit about what I'm trying to say. I don't know why I care about this. I don't know why I give a shit about whatever this passion project is. I don't know why, when I talk to other people like myself, I feel a flutter of interest, and a sense of hard to describe sentimentality. I don't know why I enjoy doing this. It's all very confusing, as I haven't enjoyed much of anything most of my life. Everything's been a distraction, or something that just, just to keep you going. I'm sure many of you understand that. But this is different, and I'm not sure why, but I want to discover why. And I want you, whoever you are, to maybe help me discover. Maybe you yourself can discover something too about what you are. If you're hearing this for the first time and you haven't seen this stuff on my channel or have been on the Discord, this all may sound like just insane ramblings, but just try it. I mean, if you're anything like me, you don't like talking to most people. You don't like interacting in any capacity that with, I guess, everyday sort of chatting and such in life. Like, when you go to work or school or whatever it is you do, if you do any of that. But I love conversation. I love topical conversation. I like talking about different things like themes and concepts and ideas, analyzing them, breaking them down. But I've been doing that most of my life just by myself, right? And I'm discovering that doing that with others seems to bring me some kind of enjoyment that I don't quite comprehend. And I think maybe other people can do the same. I don't know to what capacity or whatever, but I think we can. And not asking that people start being friends or anything like that. The idea makes me gross. Like it feels nauseating. But just know that maybe there's a way we can socialize. Ugh, just saying it, right? But there's something there. Aside from that, on the pragmatic level, the only way I can continue this project in any realistic capacity is obviously through some form of financial support. Um, right now, I'm taking advantage of the fact that I can't find a job, so I'm living off government cheese, along with my family, wife, and children. And if I ever do find a job, it's going to be difficult for me to justify not wanting to, you know, spend more time there and do this. This feels real. No job, no school I've ever been to, no project I've ever worked on has ever felt as real as what I'm doing with this. I'm not trying to shill for money. I'm not trying to get rich. I just really want to keep doing this. If you're anything like me, you know that money is just a means to an end, and that end is to be left isolated when you want to be isolated, and otherwise when you don't. Um, but yeah, if you're broke like me, obviously I'm not going to ask you for anything. That's stupid. But there are some things you can do to help this out. Um, you can just like the video. If you don't have an account, I know a lot of you guys don't. If you were internet creeper like myself in the past, um, just make an account if you want to, if you can, whatever. I don't know. It feels weird to ask anyone for anything, considering that I don't like it when people ask me of anything, right? So this is a kind of a contradictory situation. But make an account if you can and sub. Um, also, if you're like on the Schizoid Reddit or some kind of avoidant Reddit or Facebook group, if you like what I'm doing already, just post something there, drop the link or something. That can help. Um, realistically, what I need to do is basically in 6 months, I have to get about 600, a little over 600 more subs. Because if you get 600 if you get 1,000 subs within the span of 12 months, then you can start monetizing the channel. So I could do stuff like super chats and all that kind of shit. And I know that stuff's kind of annoying, but hey, man, means to an end for this, This is important, at least in my opinion. And it seems to me that other people seem to think so too. They seem to believe there's something important about this too. It's all kind of confusing, Okay, I'm recording now. As a fellow, I guess, schizoid, because I'm kind of asking this of maybe if I can get like at least 3 different people. If two, that's fine. What do you think of this insanity I'm proposing of trying to create a pseudo community of schizoids, avoidance, and really socially averted people in order to somehow help us develop some form of communication that might only be relevant to people like ourselves or easier to access, and to create like something out of it. Like, what are your thoughts on such madness?
I mean, I don't think it's totally mad. I think it's nice to have a group of people that are somewhat relatable and they've thought, because we don't really communicate with other people very often and we don't have social interests, often we don't have a lot of even physical interests. We spend a lot of time in our head and we've thought about things more carefully than most people. So it's not like we're hyper intelligent or anything, but I can actually
I'm
talk
dumb
to
as
people
fuck.
here.
I'm dumb as fuck, so I understand that. But like, do you think it's something like, do you think whatever it is I'm doing is something like that can happen? Like, is this useful, or is this just the insane ramblings of a madman?
I think it's useful. I think you're gonna have a hard time
Yeah.
developing a community because we get bored so easily, or
Yeah.
we get like just the need to
Mhm.
exile ourselves from any sort of communication.
Yeah, of
So
course, of course. That makes sense. Okay, well, that's all I wanted really. Thank you. Okay, Finn, I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked the other person. What what do you think about this idea, this insane idea that I'm trying to work toward of trying to get schizoids, avoidance, or other people that are usually socially averted in some significant way together to create a community, like a pseudo community of people that can somehow socialize and talk to each other on their own terms? Like, do you like, as far as like the problems that come with it or the realism behind it? Like, what are your thoughts on it as a schizoid?
I do believe that it is invaluable for people that just have a hard time conforming to conventional social interaction, to have a space where they feel, comfortable relatively, uh, or feel as though they can fuck up comfortably. Um,
Yeah.
and so I do think it's a great idea. I think it's ambitious. It's quite ambitious. And
That's
definitely,
just
I wouldn't be the
insane.
person to
You
do
could just say insane.
it. Yeah, no, it's batshit insane, but I do think it's a great idea.
And do you think that people like yourself would stand to benefit from such a thing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you do run into just the oddness of people in general. Um, I don't know. It's not like a major issue within the Discord that I've seen, but running into people that are like super sexually interested is always really annoying. It's super duper annoying being a person that is remotely relatively attractive and has a vagina.
Just toot your own horn, why
No,
don't you?
yeah.
So I'm like
I'm for real,
hot,
for real
and I'm
though.
tired of
Like,
people telling me I'm hot.
it does get tiring. It does. And so like that's a thing that like I do foresee possibly being a challenge just because I am confronted with that kind of energy at all times by all types of people.
Oh wow. Well, even other schizoids.
Yeah, yeah,
What? How
yeah.
many have you met?
I met there's one on my channel that came through and was asking about having, a relationship with another schizoid person.
Hmm.
Uh, and I've had just a lot of people on the spectrum come through to me, and I'm like, yo, y'all need to chill it out,
Okay.
calm it
Well,
down.
so aside from the possibility of schizoid related advances that
Yeah,
are unwanted, because obviously like a lot of schizoids are kind of aromantic or asexual, or
yeah,
they're just not interested
mhm,
in that kind of thing. I can understand that completely, but that would definitely be a challenge, an interesting challenge to have to deal with
yeah,
within the community, because there are many schizoids that are horny as hell. So that's pretty funny. All right,
yeah.
well,
Absolutely understandable, especially when they're younger.
oh yeah, absolutely. Um,
Hmm.
but anyway, okay. Well, thank you for that. That's all I really needed.
All right.